Okay, so Tanner and I found a black snake again this morning. So the situation we have going on here is we are going to have to do some snake control maintenance upkeep. So around one of the little chicken buildings. And this isn't really a big problem, but we have been seeing this black snake in the last 2 weeks. It's about the third appearance of the black snake around the chicken building. And so on the one hand, it doesn't bother us very badly because, well, one kind of folk tale, but it seems to pan out, is that if you have black snakes around, you aren't going to have the worst option of copperheads around. But also, aside from that, black snakes are good rodent control. So mice, rats, if you have black snakes around, they're probably going to help control those because they'll eat them. So in that regard, when we are seeing a snake in the vicinity of one of the buildings where the chickens are, we're okay with that. But we also don't want to walk into a chicken pen and find a black snake in a nest box or anything like that. So generally, we like to just relocate them. A little bit uncomfortable about what I'm seeing here because the dog is agitating the snake a little bit. Generally, the snakes will just slither away. They don't want an encounter with you. But the problem also we have going here, why we're finding them in the vicinity here, is that we've allowed this little bit to grow up right here, and we had a little bit of scrap wood near the doorway of one of the buildings. So they're finding hiding places. And I just moved the dog back and he complained at me, is why we got that little bit of yip from him. But I thought we had the snake moving away, and then I noticed the puppy was kind of curious about him and agitating at him just a little bit. So I just wanted to show you the black snake. Now if the puppy approaches, it's probably going to turn on him. Generally though, these snakes, oh, not good, Gus, not good. Gus is not snake savvy either. Yeah, so they've got him good and agitated now, but they probably got the warning. They probably got the warning, Mr. Snake means business. So I was gonna just let this keep rolling here. My thought was at some point the snake is gonna slither away. But what I was saying, we normally relocate them. So, but this is a great opportunity for y'all to see one up close, right? If you're afraid of snakes or don't want to be around snakes, so you wouldn't see one up close, this is a safe and comfortable way you can do that. I'm not impressed with the dog's curiosity and agitating at the snake as they are. So at some point, I think they're going to get too close for comfort, and I'm going to have to cut this off because I don't want them getting bit. The snake is not toxic, not poisonous, will not bite them, but see how much they can get some strike range, because see how much it's got its body coiled back there, and of course that's protecting itself. But in general, these snakes do not want an encounter with us. It's just our everyday average person experience with them. In general, if you come across one of these snakes, like where you're working, if you kind of just work on around it, it'll either just sit still or it'll just turn in the opposite direction and go away. Now this one, I don't know if it had been in this cover and was deciding to come out. Maybe it was going somewhere. We've got water down there. Maybe it was going down there to the sunny spot to sun itself. I don't know. But anyway, it looked like it was on its way out, and then I saw the dachshund. Was quite curious about him. So I think at some point it'll relax in the situation and move away, and at some point the dogs will probably lose interest in it too. But the dogs weren't in danger, so I don't need any haters with comments in the comment thread on that. But at some point, the dogs lose interest. You got a lot to say about that, Tanner? Yeah. Well, you're getting Gus stirred up too, friend. So at some point though, it's going to slither away and we're going to see where it's going. But as I had said, our normal response is we would just relocate them. And how do we do that? Well, I don't personally do that, so I'm using we pretty loosely. But my husband and one of my sons, they're comfortable actually picking them up. And what they'll do, well, my husband, I see him usually grab him by the tail and hold his arm out, arm's length, and shake the snake gently by the tail. The purpose in that is just to prevent what you're seeing right there, that coiling, because even when he's holding him out away from his body, it'll coil like that. and you can see there, they get that strike range because they're all coiled up, and he can shoot out, you know, the top part of his body pretty quickly. So when my husband's carrying them, Tanner, I don't think that's helping. So when my husband's carrying him by the tail, he'll like shake him. Now my middle son, I usually see him get a hold of him right behind the head. And I guess the theory in that is too, they can't develop strike range if you get a hold of them there. So anyway, so the dogs are heading that way. So maybe when they lose interest and, you know, I'm kind of backing off and things cool down around our friend there, I don't know where it's going to go, but I think at some point I lose clarity there if I zoom in too much, but I was kind of hoping we get to see what happens then. But I can see here, I mean, it is relaxing some. The body's relaxing a little bit. We're not seeing as much of that coil and kinkle in the body there. So, you know, a lot of people, I know, you don't like snakes. It's uncomfortable. You work around a farm or ranch, you work anywhere outdoors, you do any kind of outdoor recreation, you're going to come across them. I don't like them that much either, but I would say, like, don't let a black snake be a thing that makes you distraught. because honestly, most of the time, the black snake is just trying to go the black snake's way and really doesn't want anything to do with your way. So most of the time we relocate them. Very seldom have we killed a black snake that we found in a barn, unless there was just some reason it was being a nuisance, or potentially a breeding pair that maybe we'd already relocated a time before and it came back. So okay, so now the snake is relaxed. Now it was headed the opposite direction, so I don't know what changed its mind, but apparently it's going to go back into cover. And so see, I moved a little closer and it kind of like, wait a minute, it kind of tipped its head my direction. But anyway, so it appears it's going to go into cover. But I know it's interesting, you can see a bit of pattern on the snake there, but it is a black snake. It's a, you know, it's a pretty decent sized black snake. But we will be, as I mentioned though, we don't necessarily want to keep finding them in the vicinity of the buildings. For one thing, you know, if we have somebody helping us, not everybody has the tolerance for snakes that we do, as far, you know, these non-toxic, non-poisonous, non-venomous, I guess is the word we need to use. We have a certain tolerance for them. If they'll stay in their space and not be in the nest boxes and not give us a problem, then we can tolerate them. But not everybody has a tolerance level for them. So, you know, if we would have somebody helping us with barn chores, or if we want somebody to be able to visit and see, you know, show their kids where we get eggs from, not the store, from farms, from chickens, then we would want, so now the puppy's back. Tanner, you'll bring this snake right back out if you touch its tail. But anyway, we would want to be able to have them here and them be comfortable and not, and not have this issue with finding them frequently. So at any rate, I'll get to the last bit of it. We're probably gonna go out to about 10 minutes here and try to press stop. And sorry it's in the vertical format. Horizontal format goes to YouTube better, but this is what I started with. So, but anyway, we are going to do some snake control. So that's going to involve, and these are steps you can do around your place. If you're seeing snakes where you don't want to see them, get everything mowed down, weed-eated down, so we won't have this weed cover here that we've got. And then up into where we access the building, we had some little pieces of scrap wood stuck there. Actually had another board in there in a corner. So I already removed the one that was in the corner. We've got the scrap wood there. We're gonna get it out of there. Weed eat this all down. It'll all be clear, and we'll be able to, you know, kind of deter the snakes from wanting to go there. Because why do they want to go here? This is safe cover for them. See, just like here, it was bothered by a couple dogs, but it went into the weed cover. Tanner, you need to get out. You'll find it. So I am going to get the dog and make sure that he stays safe. But it went into the weed cover because that's protective for it. So we take away the protection, and we're going to have less frequency of finding snakes in that area.